Joe's on.
What's going on, guys?
Go!
Sunday before Thanksgiving, which is awesome. What's going on, John?
How's it
Before
going?
we started the show, John was dumping stuff out on his desk there, and it sounded like his house is being demolished. Speaking of which, right, let's get right into this because there's a reason my tagline says what it says. Saturday morning, this past Saturday morning, at almost precisely 2 a.m. on the dot, we woke up to a crash like you have not heard before in the house, feeling like it had come off its foundation. So we ran out, and I struggled to get the front door open, and I couldn't figure, just being kind of half asleep and a little shocky, trying to figure out why the front door wouldn't open. And I started yelling, let go of the front door, because whoever had been pounding on it, I was convinced was holding on to the other end of it because the door would not open. So I finally got it jerked open, and I'm looking, and there's a girl standing there with a young girl and a young guy. And when I say that, I'm talking 17 to 21, 22, somewhere in there. And I look, and there is an automobile stuffed into the side of our house. And I said, what the hell happened? And this girl looks at me, and she says, I decided to teach my autistic brother how to drive. And I said, are you serious? And she said, and he stomped on the gas instead of the brakes and shot right across our yard in between two trees and literally smashed full on into the side of our house. Here's the thing. Most of the time, except for in recovery mode where I've been doing it up here, that room downstairs where I usually do the podcast with you guys is my toy room. And we had literally just swapped the room around this past week. So not everything was out, thankfully, but most everything was out on shelves and on tables. So right in the corner of where he hit the house was my Defiant, was my Whale, was my Crusader, was my Rolling Thunder, and all of the stuff on the wall, plus my mobile command center. So the Defiant was literally launched across the room and smashed all to pieces.
'Tis learned how to fly.
Yeah, very funny. No. The Whale is completely demolished. I'm not sure. I think one missile box literally on that Defiant didn't, on the Whale didn't break. The rest of it broke. My Warthog was destroyed. About, 100 and maybe 200 pounds of cement blocks smashed the mobile command center. Batmobile got ruined. There's a bunch of stuff. There's just a bunch of stuff. Just quickly based on eBay stuff, and some of this was low because I was actually trying to be fair about stuff. But $6,390, and like I said, that's low. Just to even try to break even. The problem with that is my guess on the Defiant is that's probably a couple of grand low, considering that you can't get one shipped.
Mm-mm.
No one is going to ship a Defiant. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Wheeljack's Lab. He's a big dealer. He does a lot of stuff on eBay. He's got 3 Defiants. He starts out at like $4,000 and goes all the way up to like $6,000, depending on condition. But none of them are shippable. So just kind of gives you an idea of where that's at. I had a couple of other random figures that got damaged, but that's relatively minor. But the Defiant literally was launched, 10, 12 feet across the room and smashed into a table. And if you guys know anything about them, they're very brittle to begin with.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that door was in a bazillion pieces.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. The gantry broke, crawler broke. The booster shuttle is broken. Both the Defiant and the Crusaders have got all scratched up, blue paint on them from something. I don't even know what that was. The Batmobile's got red paint on it from something. Just like the whole room bounced off of everything else in the room. It actually is really is crazy. So there's a giant hole in the house now that's just kind of plywooded over. A construction company came and got 2 6x6 beams stuck in as best they could to make sure the second floor doesn't fall down into the first floor, because all of the masonry wall is destroyed. The reason I'm bringing that up is this. You guys, we've got renter's insurance, which, we're thankful for. And this car was brand new. It was a brand new Subaru. She hadn't even made the first payment on it. She hadn't had it long enough to make the first payment. And this is what she decides to do with it. Let her autistic brother smash into somebody's house at 2:00 in the morning. I mean, this Twilight Zone stuff. The car was totaled. She hit the corner of those bricks, and it was just like an axe head wedge. I mean, it smashed the whole front end of the car into the accessory drive and everything else. It's a goner. The front doors on the car won't even close. It was that rack. She hit this house that hard, or he did, whichever. It doesn't really matter. But the reason I bring it up is because, as you might imagine, in the last 36 hours, we've had a few conversations and have had to look up a few things with insurance. We're all collectors. We all have homeowners. Hopefully, all have homeowners or renters insurance. Here's the gist of what we've discovered. There are limits built into your policies that, because it's so hard to establish value, they have limits on how much they'll cover for your collectibles or antiques or firearms or anything else. And believe it or not, our particular, from what the State Farm thing is saying, that's our particular policy, and it is normal apparently, is only $2,000. So they're telling you to make sure that you have a separate and specific insurance policy for all of your collectibles, which means everything needs to be itemized, photographed. If, God forbid, something happens to your stuff, they're going to either need or estimates from professional resellers or dealers and auction results. And there's question on whether eBay is accepted on that. Apparently they were talking about auction house results, which can be pretty tricky for, not all auction houses sell the toys that we collect. So just as a heads up, ladies and gentlemen, check your policy and start talking to your agent about a specific policy for your stuff. Now, in our instance, liability, there is no question of liability, right? This house didn't burn down. It wasn't faulty wiring where we have to fight with the landlord, or, it wasn't act of God stuff that, insurance companies love to play with. This girl is 100% liable for all of the damages that, we've incurred. How we're going to end up being paid for that, I guess, is ultimately going to be the question. Will our renter's insurance hit the limit and just say, okay, you're going to have to sue them for the rest? Or will our renter's insurance pony up, and just because we know they're going after her insurance company either way?
Oh, yeah.
Especially if we end up if we can't stay in this home, and I'm not sure we're going to know for sure until another couple of days when it's really, really looked at. Our renter's insurance will put, 54 days or something? 54 weeks or some foolish thing. We've got coverage if we can't stay here. I don't remember what my wife said. She's not paying any attention to me right now. She don't want to hear it anymore. She's pretty well sick of it. But that's not a problem. But the question is how much of this stuff is going to be covered? Which we just don't know. Don't know.
Personally, for me, if they don't cover it, I would have to go after them myself. Because
after Progressive, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's stuff that
and
to us is invaluable.
Well, the Defiant specifically, geez, 3 years ago, John gave us that Defiant stuff as a start because it's not something. I have to be honest with you guys. I'm looking at the cost to replace that Defiant because there literally isn't a major component on this thing that's not busted at this point in time or damaged. I mean, low numbers of $4,000 on that thing. I'm kind of going, to do something fun with Emmett over the last 3 years and, buy a piece here and there. And you know what I mean? That's different over long term. But I have to be perfectly honest with you. I'm having a hard time wondering, can I actually sit down and justify spending $4,000 on one of those? The Bumble's going to go to the dentist here in a second. And you'll be right behind him. I don't know. That's a hard one, isn't it? When you think about it, I mean, that's a tremendous amount of money for something that sits in a corner. Yeah. That is as big, huge reminder that's as fragile as it is. It's kind of like, geez, I don't know if I want another. I want another Defiant, but I don't want to give that kind of money for it.
I'd tell them I wanted you to replace it.
Yeah, for me, they've got to replace that stuff. Yeah. Her insurance has to.
Like I said, I got my list down here, and we got everything moved around, and I looked things over really well. So everything that's broken is on a couple of tables in the garage, separate from the part of the house that's damaged. So
what's up, Matt?
You can look at it. I sent a text to Seth down to Sasquatch because I said, do you guys do appraisals on insurance claims? And he said he can. So I will touch base with Seth, depending on what our insurance guy says tomorrow. Like I said, this was just eBay stuff, trying to pick averages, and, to replace them. I'm not going to sit around and try to part one of these things out. The time involved, like I said, it took 3 years to do this with a Defiant. I'm never going to be reimbursed for that. Plus, the restoration work and everything else. This is a bad one. This is a bad one, though. You think about this stuff right here. My grandparents, my father's parents, actually were married for 72 years before she passed. And then he passed, 5 years later. My sisters gave us a lamp that was gifted to them on their 65th wedding anniversary. It literally is all I have of my father's parents, my grandparents on that side. One of the glass domes survived. The rest of it was, I don't know, there was a piece down there much bigger than a dollar bill. And that was, the rest of it was completely shattered.
The light bulb was still intact.
And you sat looking through insurance documents and everything else and start asking questions about that kind of stuff. And it's just like, oh, well, blah, blah. It's very hard to put a value on something like that. So if you've got receipts, they'll give you the price of replacing the lamp. Well, I've had that lamp for 25 years. That's irreplaceable. I don't even know where my sisters bought it. I don't know if it was particularly valuable. I think it was a couple of $100 back then when they bought it. But that was 1989. You know what I mean? It's just like, but it's it's a bad. We've been laughing and joking about it, but the truth is it's really, in an awful lot of ways, this is damn sad that some stupid kid makes a really, really, really not stupid, but a ridiculous decision, and
no doubt.
It's our life just got a whole lot more complicated. Hers, hey, she wrecked a car. She's going to be messed up for a good long time. But whatever. You really just, excuse my French, but you just screwed the pooch for a whole other family here for who knows how long. It's just crazy. And, John kind of went through something similar when the guy bails into the back end of his van, not that long ago. You just kind of get sick of having to pay for everybody else's nonsense, I guess, is the point. And It just doesn't seem right. So make sure, I'm serious, guys. Go look at if you don't have insurance, you better go get it and make sure that you have a very specific, and complete insurance policy on the stuff that you have, because dumb stuff happens, and it's not always the regular stuff, because this is highly irregular. So that's Bob's lesson for the week. Just check your insurance. Because
check and get a insurance policy on your collectibles alone. Yeah,
very specific policy. Yeah.
Anything you and your wife may collect, needs a policy on it probably.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked to see that they don't cover guns, firearms. Yep. That's another issue. That
you've got to get a whole different policy just for that.
Yeah, and it's going to kind of have to, because to tell you the honest truth, this girl, that car could have gone 2 foot to the south, and the whole thing would have gone right through both of those windows and ended up in the basement, and probably hit the wall that he was on the other side of. If she'd have come right through the front door, just another 2 feet in the other direction to the north, there's a good chance she'd have brought this whole house down, because it's a split level and it's already open right there. So
possibility.
So it's just like,
I still poor choices. Both the kids are okay though.
Oh, they were fine. They were fine. I mean, the airbags brought them to a quick stop. Yeah. I bet they're still super sore.
Oh yeah.
There were absolutely no injuries on him. He was having a hard time coping with it. He ran off at one point in time, just screaming his head off. He ran off. He went probably a quarter of a mile down the hill and then popped back up. But he was crawling in and out of the car, and he'd go from just kind of staring off into space to bawling his eyes out to crawling around in the car to wandering around yelling and hollering. He was not. And then, like I said, her father came. They called home, and her father came. I told the other guys this already. He sat behind the cop out here in the street, and they went over and talked to him. And then he just drove off. And then somebody said the girl started crying uncontrollably, just crying. And she told Amy that, they needed a place to go. And their father told them they couldn't go home. Now, I don't know if this is his way of thinking that releases him from all financial liability or whatever. I don't know what he was thinking, but no, they can't go home now. So now you got 2 kids that, their car's hanging out of the side of somebody's house, and their father just drives off and leaves them. Like, you're a real winner there, buddy. I mean, be mad at him by all means. Stand out here, yell and curse and wake up the whole neighborhood. That I'd understand. But you look your kid in the face and say, you can't come home? Yeah, you're a jackhole. I mean, give me a break. That was the biggest mistake of the night right there. Not what the kids did, what their father did. So I swear, my neighbor, the cop, he came over and we were talking, and I told him what happened, and he just looked at me, and I said, I swear I bet this guy thinks that if they don't live with him anymore, he's not going to be on the hook. And that boy's severely autistic. His daughter is not the responsible adult. He is. Right. He's the one that needed to make sure he wasn't out ramming the roads at 2:00 in the morning, not her. So
that's what I was fixing to say.
Somebody, I guarantee you, State Farm, our insurance company, is going to end up suing a whole lot of people, not just Progressive Insurance, before this. Because they're going to want to recoup whatever it is they end up spending out of this mess, and I don't blame them one bit. We, as a customer, we'd expect that from our insurance companies, right?
Oh yeah.
You got to make sure the right people pay for all of this, but hopefully that's not us, because we're not the right people to be paying one penny of this.
And technically, with a kid being 17,
I don't know how old he was, Shane. We're guessing.
Okay.
And you know how with kids with those conditions, it's very hard to tell how old they are.
But he's still going to be in
he's not a responsible adult. He's not even close to a responsible adult. So his parents are on the hook for whatever he does.
Yeah. If he didn't at least have a learner's permit, then
that's a whole other can of worms.
Oh no, John, no. This kid, there's no way this kid would ever get a permit, let alone a license. He's not capable of driving. It's when we saw him, it's just like, seriously?
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna assume he ain't on the insurance.
Oh no.
Well, yeah, if he ain't got a license, he's definitely not.
He's not, but it doesn't. We checked into that too. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Progressive still has to go good for that.
Oh yeah.
It was their policy holder that let him have the car. So, so Progressive may end up turning around and suing them too to recoup some of their money. I got no idea. But
they might be on the line for having to pay that car off and not have one.
Oh, they will.
Well, see, and that might be the catch, right? They may just go, look, we're going to cover your liability in this instance, but the collision side of this is out. We're not covering your losses because you were completely irresponsible. So, and I hate to say it, but that's their problem.
Yep.
Because generally, if somebody drives your vehicle, their insurance is responsible for covering if you're for an accident.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's just something crazy to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Well, tell you what, it'll snap you right. My wife literally pulled something in her back. She come flying up off that bed so fast. She genuinely hurt herself because it's just like, we've had accidents. We've lived other places. We've heard accidents outside the house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were talking about the weird earthquakes and stuff. Gee, there was one night we had an earthquake in Maine. We would have sworn the furnace blew up. It shook the house so bad. It doesn't even compare to what happened here on Saturday morning. Not even.
Did you mention that in the report that she hurt her back when she jumped up?
Oh no, the cop that was here was about as uninterested as you could get. I don't think they even gave him tickets. I don't think they were even cited. We don't know for sure. Amy's shaking her head no. We don't know if they're going to show up later and give them tickets or what the hell. But
I would let them know she hurt her back. I mean, you know.
Well, it's all on the table now because
if you have any problems, just look out your window. I'm sure you'll see Alexander Schnorr billboard out there with a phone number on it.
Yeah. Call me, Alabama. Yep. I mean, this is crazy. I'm not below or above calling one of those clowns. That's for sure. Because I'm not going to take a pounding on this, and I'm not going to get undercut on it either. It's just not happening. My house did not jump out in front of her. My house was not driving on the wrong side of the road. It wasn't jaywalking. It wasn't doing any of those things. We were laying here in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and all of its contents, minding our own business, and somebody slammed it. Liability isn't a question. Who's going to pay for it and what they're going to pay is the catch. So, but keep it all in mind, guys. Check your policies because I'd hate for somebody to have a surprise where liability isn't as clear as our particular instance is. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, kind of is.
I'm glad everybody's okay and safe.
It could have been a whole lot worse.
Oh yeah, it could have been.
And a splitting headache.
Well,
that's what I have right now from your moose.
What are you talking about?
That was flung across the room and hit me again.
Oh, wow.
That's how I woke up.
I'm surprised you even woke up. Hey, Nancy.
What gets me is her dad telling her they can't come home. That's just awful.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I mean, kids, Lord knows, we were all kids and we all did stupid stuff. And we all did stupid stuff in vehicles. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
But, what? No, I'll tell you.
Van something.
I was going to say, you know what? I'll tell you. I put a car into the neighbor's kitchen. I did. But I was 4. I was 4 when I did that. Not how old this girl was. I just didn't.
That's some unbreakable light bulbs.
How many cars did I drive without a license? All of them. I drove truck all over the country and half of Canada with no license. So whatever. I mean, I didn't hit nothing, let alone somebody's house. I mean,
that's Canada. It don't count.
You know what? statute of limitations expired on all that stuff, right?
He ran over our water.
Yeah, a long time ago.
He doesn't know. Tried to take out my water line last time he was here.
Oh, I did too.
Brand new water line.
Cover right over.
I had to cover it over.
Well, things were different back then. But anyways, so I got a lot of grace for the kids because kids do dumb things. But I'm not going to take a pounding on this either. And I got no patience for their father. None. Absolutely none. That was a real dirtbag thing to do. Those kids made a mistake. He did that on purpose. That was thought out somehow. That he thought it was a good idea to turn his back on his own kids.
That's
buddy.
insane.
That was the worst. So far, that was actually the worst part of this whole story.
What about the moose in my head?
You're fine.
Is the moose okay?
What's that?
Is the moose okay?
The moose is actually okay.
I didn't know impacting such a hard object. I didn't know if it was.
Well, I know, right? I mean, no, the
It had a
moose
soft landing.
flew too. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You guys, I showed these guys the pictures of the inside of the room. Literally, what I sent that like 10 minutes after it happened because I just, I said the same thing you guys at the bottom there without my squiggly lines. It's just like I could, I had to. I was in so much shock. I had to tell somebody, you ain't gonna believe what just happened here. I mean, sure enough. I think it was Shane sometime around 4 started texting back.
I woke up at 4 and saw messages, and I was like, "Oh, something's wrong." They don't message this late at night. I opened it up, and I was like, "Oh,
Crazy!
this is not good."
I had my radio off. I didn't even see it until I don't know. Was it 9 or 10 o'clock yesterday?
Yeah.
John coming in late.
Yeah, I was way behind on everything. I thought I was reading the book, trying to get caught up.
Crazy.
Well,
yeah, because I mean, Shane and I were talking about the structure and the contractors and everything else because it was just like, what the heck? Man? Just, but yeah, there's a little cupboard down there underneath. What's that?
Too bad you didn't have Star Wars stuff on that window because you could have went to Ollie's and bought it all back for like $80.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's Marvel.
Can you imagine? If this was a Lego collection? Can you imagine?
Oh, that would be
Oh, good Lord.
That would have been that'd be like 9 million Lego pieces all over the floor down there. There's no way we could.
Not that the value of it alone.
Oh, jeez, it's
Especially
crazy.
got a bunch of the retired sets going for $500 and $600 a pop. That's probably one of the most expensive collectibles there is right now.
Oh, hands down. Yeah.
Wow. I need to dig out what I got and sell it. Then.
I'm telling you, the value of some of those, especially the retired sets right now,
Yeah.
is insane.
And there, I saw a thing the other day. I guess there's an absolute ton of sets that are retiring at the end of 2024. So
there's tons retiring at the end of the year every year.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that adventure. So in the coming weeks, hopefully not too many of them, but in the coming weeks, we'll definitely keep you posted on how all of this plays out because it may actually end up helping one of you guys out if, again, God forbid, something like this ends up happening with you and you end up having a bunch of your stuff damaged or whatever. So, yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. We can find out. So, anyways, what else is new?
All right, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I hear that.
Got some leaked images of some upcoming G.I. Joes. We'll get them on here and let everybody see. So, this comes from Full Force Podcast, courtesy of Jayy Con. Mm-hmm. And this is a Dark Line. He was a name reveal.
Mm-hmm.
And
his head's a lot smaller than I remember.
Yeah, mostly all these don't have a head yet, but they all have the body sculpt.
Huh.
I don't ever remember Darkline having a sword. I do remember him having that pretty cool minigun there.
Yeah.
I don't remember him at all.
Darkline's
I remember him.
Grenadier.
Overlord's the one that had the claws, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Darklon is Destro's cousin.
Yeah, he was one of the Iron Grenadiers. Commander.
I remember. Darklonia. I remember him from the comic.
Mhm.
It's
He's
really
actually
nice.
also in the new Deathstroke comic too.
Yep, he was.
So it looks pretty on to close to vintage style.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one is
The big gun is better
Footloose.
looking than. Oh, there he is. Yeah,
Now, Footloose has already been named, right?
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
give us
he's been
Yeah,
named.
Footloose been named
Yeah.
already.
we saw a digital
And he
render.
had a
Well, they named
he had a
Darklon too
digital
in
render.
that last pulp stream.
Yeah, they named him. Yeah, but these are
Yeah.
just leaked images of the bodies and stuff.
Yeah. We didn't even get a digital render of Darklon, though. We got a illustrate a page out of one of the comics.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
who was it? The digital render. What was Footloose? The face on Footloose looks like a celebrity. Who was it?
Pedro Pascal. Or,
Yes.
Pedro
Yep.
Pascal from
Yep.
The Mandalorian. Because
Yes.
the joke was he looks more like the Mandalorian than the Mandalorian looks like the Mandalorian.
Yep.
Yeah, something tells me that right there, people gonna buy that and just swap the heads with the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
Yeah,
Footloose is
Timothy.
cool.
He did wear a funky style mask. Darklon did.
Like black.
Yeah. It kind of looked
That looked like
like
some kind of breathing apparatus or
Yeah.
something.
like a
Kind
gas
of a Vader
mask.
ripoff.
But that's pretty cool. 'Cause
So when that thing right there comes available to pre-order, everybody better snag him.
Oh yeah, because people are gonna be snatching him up just for the head.
Yep.
Footloose was one of my favorites back in the day, also. And
Mine
then
too.
here's Bragg.
What's with the no heads? What's up with that?
I don't think they have the heads yet, which this one does have the head here. You can see it, the white head.
Yeah. The helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not quite done yet because it was the brown color also. But I was not really a big fan of the Frag Viper, but it looks cool.
Yeah. I wonder if this is now that production has moved to India, and that's what we've all been told is the big delay with the next 3 waves of figures. I wonder if these prototype leaks are going to be more common than they have been coming out of China in the past. Because this is a lot of leaked. This is a lot of leaked photos for production stuff. I wonder if that's going to be the norm now because everything's in India.
I believe so.
I think so.
I read somewhere they was moving their corporate headquarters too.
They are. Well, they're playing a game right now. They haven't announced it, but it looks very much so like
We'll
they're
get
going
to that here in a moment.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was on the news, was it not?
They said that they're going to announce the official decision after the first of the year, but everybody already knows what the decision is and why. So,
yeah, because I think it was on Fox News the other day.
Probably was.
Yeah.
It's a big story. For so. I always like Law and Order. I'm anxious for this figure.
Me too. And I like that it's a whole new sculpt for the dog.
Yes. Yep.
I'm trying to reuse the Rottweiler body.
Yeah.
The Uzi with the green hardware is interesting.
The box needs to come with a flap. When you open it, it goes doom doom.
I agree.
That'd be funny, actually.
Yeah,
Best joke of dad joke of 2024.
But I'm like you, Dave. I like it. I
like this one very much.
I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
I like all the extra hands you get that's got commands.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be really nice, really nice.
The only thing is, it's going to take 30 minutes to signal other Joes while you're sitting there swapping hands back to make the signal.
Yeah.
Funny. That one looks good. Who's this?
That's just another picture of Law.
It looks darker. Is that a variant?
I don't know.
Doesn't he look darker?
It does look darker.
Yeah.
May just be the light, and they took the picture under.
Yeah, maybe. There's a lot more black on him. Maybe not.
Yeah.
What's that shiny box?
No, I guess not, right? This is just much better lit.
That's that other picture is his dark side.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dark side,
Light
light
side,
side, dark side.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like
I
you,
didn't
Dan.
see that
I'm
coming.
excited.
What's the box?
Who knows?
It looks like he on the vest here. He's got a place to peg something in.
Yeah.
I noticed that just now. I didn't.
Rocket launcher.
I wonder what you could peg in there. I mean, it doesn't come with anything, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Put a couple of rocket launchers on the
there.
side.
Yeah.
Or dark line sword.
Oh, there you go.
Put it on there and just point forward.
Well, I know military dogs now. They got a handgun on their side, like that,
Yeah,
where that same about that same spot.
Yeah, they've got holsters now. Molly kits on the dogs.
I really want to see that dog shoot that gun. That's
Me
that's
too.
you got me intrigued now.
He probably uses his tail.
Is it like a
That's
chew
my
toy
word.
and he just pow, 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 just chew it on it?
Hope he uses trigger safety.
I doubt it. German Shepherds are known to be reckless. They're just
They are Germans. So, reckless they could be.
Yep.
So that was all the leaked photos we had.
Cool.
I'm most excited about this one here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
Footloose is a solid second, but Dark Lawn is, I don't know. That's like 90s goofy, not 80s
Yeah, he's
goofy.
a 90s, definitely 90s.
You know,
I think he was a 91, maybe 92.
yeah, something like
That
that.
one come out.
You're right
Which
in there
he-
with Frag Viper.
He did come with a vehicle also.
Mm-hmm.
Little sled looking thing. I can't remember the name of it, but
I can't either. Oh.
I just
Like I said,
ordered the Iron Grenadier. I'd like to have an Iron Grenadier Destro sometime this year or next year.
it'll come. They're gonna Iron Grenadiers is a thing now. It's gonna be coming out. You can bet on it.
I'm surprised he wasn't the first figure for the Iron Grenadiers because
Yeah.
all I got to do is just repaint him and throw a cape on him.
Yep.
Yeah, Metalhead was a weird choice for that.
Paint his head gold.
It's like everybody was saying. They already got the gold head from Pimp.
Yeah, they already
Destro.
got the Destro gold head.
Yep. So, yeah.
And he had a cape.
Yeah.
He come with a cape too.
That was a weird cape, though.
Yeah, it was a leopard skin cape, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
What a stupid figure that is. Holy cow.
Next up is this
Hey, Pimp Show was awesome.
Farland leak list of.
I saw this the other day. I didn't know what to make of it, honestly.
Can y'all guys see that? I'll let Dave read it off. Can you see it, Dave? Good enough? I need to zoom in more?
The first one, Mega 2-pack. Flash, I don't have any idea what version of it is versus Titano. Titano there's already a bunch of speculation. I don't know if you guys saw that they're doing the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2-packs. The first one they've shown is a Kong Batman, and then the speculation is the next one is Superman Godzilla. From the legendary stylings of those. This Titano, there's already a bunch of speculation on that it's basically just like a repaint of that Kong figure. Because with a little bit of robotics on the head. That's kind of a wait and see. Batman versus Killer Croc. Supposedly this is their way of re-releasing the Grim Knight figure, which apparently is very rare now. Because he literally had a backpack made out of about 30 different guns, so that kind of got scrapped.
And he come with guns too.
Yeah, he had 2 separate guns on top of that. Yeah. I don't know anything about that pack. Other than that, Deadshot, I don't know if this is another movie variant or a comics one. What comic version? I have no idea. This Batman Year 2, V2, I'll show him here in a minute. It's another blue and gray Batman, but it's using this Brayfogle head. It actually doesn't look terrible. So there's that. Adam Strange, no idea. Batman final suit, 6th dimension, absolutely no idea. Hawk Girl. There was some speculation on whether this is going to be because of that new Superman movie out early next year or mid next year, along with the Guy Gardner and the Mr. Terrific. But I guess it's been settled that this is actually a classic Hawk Girl, which when I mean by classic, I mean by like the orange and the green, not JSA Hawk Girl, not movie Hawk Girl, but a good Silver Age Hawk Girl, which I'm excited for.
And she'll probably have the red sticker on her.
Probably.
The ultra super rare.
Probably. There's been no photos leaked of that yet, so I don't know. Guy Gardner is comic accurate, as in like, you know, mid 80s, Booster Gold, Ice, Fire, you know, Martian Manhunter and the Oreos. That Guy Gardner. Mr. Terrific, we've seen pictures of. I think he's Rebirth Mr. Terrific, which puts him as modern. If there's going to be any silver variants on these, no idea.
Strange Lives of Superman.
No idea. This is another one of these black and gold variants, the Azrael Batman armor. That's going to be one of the black and gold ones. The more frostbite figures, which are that weird half translucent frosty white painted ones. This Mr. Freeze is a movie one, blacklight, which means he glows in the dark. Captain Carrot, another repaint or a repaint of him because he hasn't been done again. Glow in the dark. This is that Dark Knights of Steel is just a patina job, which is kind of stupid. Batman Year 2, black and white with accent, another repaint. Another Sinestro. Super Friends, which actually, if he's purple and blue, which would actually be really cool. Bruce Wayne in Build-A-Wave 4, Hardak. Hardak was... Oh, geez, help me, John. Hardak was like OMAC, right? They were like Android. It was like an Android type character.
I've never heard of that one. I've heard of OMAC, but I had never heard of him. Yeah, that's a new one on me.
I think Hardak was.
I think that was more animated series.
Was it?
Yeah.
So
wasn't Hardak's cousin?
Hardak. Yes, Corey's actually. He's 100% right. He was the robot Batman. Remember? Hardak was the android Batman. I know exactly what it is now. Yes. Yeah, and that was the Build-A-Wave figure from the animated series. You get to build a Bruce Wayne in a trench coat, I think it was. More of those collector cowls. A mega fig for the new Superman movie, 12-inch Superman. Those are all movie toys.
Name removed due to spoiler nature.
Yeah. So,
Vault Boy Gold label.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That's something I'm picking up.
Malay. The Superpowers playset from the Superman movie, gold label. Speculation is that is like the crystalline Fortress of Solitude, like from the movie. So that would kind of be cool, but I haven't seen any pictures of it.
$500 probably Manolo McFarlane.
Boy, I tell you what, the way he jumped the shark with that Joker set, oy, oy, oy. I don't know, man. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. 2 figures and some cardboard for $250. Get real, buddy.
250? That's what he's wanting from that from the
Yes.
Joker movie?
Yes, sir.
Yes, $250 for that. Out of his gourd, crazy. I don't know if he's just completely full of himself or he's, like I said, he's just trying to cash in because the license is up. I don't know, but that one has really sent a lot of people right over the edge. That's insane. And he tried to tell the public that, get this, he had to charge that much because it's characters from a rated R movie and it's a collectible, not a toy. So he had to charge that much to pay for the likenesses. He did He did all of those Suicide Squad figures, which was a rated R movie, and they were, $80 a piece. He's lost it. I'm sorry, but that one is that's terrible. $250 for that set. I don't think he'll ever sell those.
He couldn't give it to me and give me $250 for it.
Nope, absolutely
No,
not.
me neither.
Not at all.
Absolutely.
Supposedly it's going to be a limited run.
It would have to be a limited run of about 3 because that's all he's going to sell of them. That's insane.
Oh no, I guarantee you.
It's kind of like that Transformers Super 7 deal.
Yeah.
2 figures and the cardboard backdrop for $75.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And then of course everybody's good and furious at NECA apparently all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Did you hear any of that stuff?
I did not.
Apparently they sent
I have no idea.
a bunch of product that they fulfilled orders. They double fulfilled orders apparently, which means they sent people product that they didn't order. And apparently NECA was in the process of sending them out some very threatening letters, i.e. you're going to pay us for those right now. And people are like, I ain't paying you jack for something I didn't order. So NECA is getting progressively nastier in their correspondence with these people because they're demanding payment on product that people did not order. So
I have a cat.
Well, it's a new way to get sales, isn't it?
well, yeah. But a lot of people are flat out refusing to return them or pay for them and I guess NECA's getting pretty nasty about it. So
Sounds like what we're going to talk about next, huh?
Yeah. So we're just it just seems like we're kind of coming unglued here all of a sudden in the collector world because
Exactly.
What the heck? $250 double figure sets. We're going to send you twice as much as you ordered and then demand you pay us for it. And what Shane's got next? I mean,
which is this.
This was filed this week, ladies and gentlemen. I did read the story. Here's the deal. We spent an awful lot of time in the last 3 years talking about why is it that distribution was all messed up, right? And then when figures were finally released, they basically appeared to go directly to the discounters, Ollie's, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, right? Ross's. This lawsuit was filed by a pension fund for a fire department. I don't remember where right off the top of my head, but anyways.
Here it is, man.
Yes. West Palm Beach. So you guys can read that. To present an apparent 4-year buildup of inventory as being done in order to meet anticipated customer demand rather than admit that the stockpiling was a result of their inability to adequately move their various products. So what Hasbro did is they basically used their ineptitude, right? There's a word for you. Because their distribution was so pooched that they ended up stockpiling product. They turned around and sold that screw up to their investors as they did that deliberately to meet their anticipated customer demand, and it inflated their stock price. And that is what they sold their stock to. They used as a selling point to retirement funds, other investors, blah, 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 blah. So, if this is true, and we can all discuss whether we think it's true or not, Hasbro is being accused of a significant fraud scheme here. Significant. I'm going to say something, and I will do it, and I will recommend you all do the same thing because we all know everybody at Hasbro religiously watches this show. In my opinion, this is exactly what Hasbro did, and it was fraud. And they are probably in significant legal and financial trouble right now.
Oh, yeah. I believe so.
Because as of Friday, the word went out from that law firm seeking out other plaintiffs in this class action suit. So they're basically sending this out to anybody that manages any kind of retirement funds and big scale individual investors to join in on this lawsuit, because it's looking very much so like we do finally have an answer to what the heck was going on at Hasbro. Hasbro screwed up and then in a sneaky, crafty, fraudulent way turned around and sold that screw up as an asset when it was actually not. So Hasbro's in a lot of trouble.
It would explain all the inventory at Ollie's and
because
like
they
that.
had to dump it. They dumped it.
And I read an article yesterday where now Ollie's is saying that if they can't sell the product they have now, that they're going to have the stuff destroyed and sold as scrap plastic and stuff back to other companies.
Yeah, and never do it again. Never buy like that from Hasbro again.
Because they just can't move nothing.
And that's that's kind of the question I had asked. What was it last week? I really have to ask the question: what is going to happen when these resellers, these discounters, cannot sell that product? The likelihood of them ever buying it again is zero. Now, I don't know if it matters to them or not, but I have to tell you, CEOs and whatever of these discounter companies probably looking at these reports going, they just flat out used us to try to cover up for a significant fraud.
They sure did.
And you start defrauding, I don't know, you start defrauding pension funds. Boy, public opinion turns against you fast. And and it looks very much so like that's what they did. And it would actually kind of make sense to what's going on.
It's crazy.
And did we talk about last week that I sent it to Shane and I sent it to John, but apparently the licenses are up at the end of this year. Both DC, Marvel, Star Wars, those licenses are up for grabs.
Sure are.
So, at this point in time, Disney could go, hey, you know what? Hasbro, you're not even in the running for those licenses anymore because we don't want to be tangled up with you anymore.
Disney's just as much to blame as Hasbro is, though.
Well, it is because of their demands. They demanded
crappy shows that goes with the toys.
Yeah, there's nothing. And a lot of that speculation on that thing that we were watching the other day is just that Hasbro may not have actually been interested anyways. They may not have even wanted it anymore. And whether or not Marvel and Star Wars are bundled together, I think was speculation. I don't think they really said for sure. And if you look at the way, I don't know, man. If you look at the way McFarlane's been behaving with the DC license, I said it a few months ago. I swear he's trying to cash out because he doesn't want it back. And with these famous cover statues, he's trying to do something with Marvel.
He's pushed a lot of product out too.
So I wouldn't be surprised if McFarlane tries to go after the Marvel license.
I think so too.
Just figures, hey, I had a 4-year run with DC, let it go.
Yep.
Because let's face it, DC's content is absolutely horrible at this point in time. The comics are bad, and there is no movies. That Superman movie is not. You mark my words on this one. It is going to bomb, and it is going to bomb badly.
Oh, yeah. Ain't no doubt.
Yeah.
This new announcement this week of him doing a Sergeant Rock movie is absolutely. You guys go make up your own mind. Go look that up. Daniel Craig is Sergeant Rock, and he's teamed up with this. I'll say it, this ultra liberal whack job of a writer director to help co-produce, not be a producer, but co-produce, co-make this movie. of Sergeant Rock, he's already off the deep end. Gunn has already screwed this all up. He can't answer a direct question about where the Batman figures into all of this, and he's the only character anybody even cares about.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing coy because he wants to continue to play with John Cena and that garbage, and extremely inappropriate and ultra violent, stupid Creature Commandos cartoons that's somehow supposed to be canon with his movies. He's just an absolute disaster and Todd McFarlane's a lot of things, but dumb isn't one of them, and unaware of what his market is. He gets it, and I think
hopefully he makes.
I think he's gonna go. He's gonna go after the Marvel license and drop DC. I really do.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about the other day, and I agree with you on that 100%.
Yep.
It just seems like he's pushing out so much so quickly. That, his list that he drops, and then 2 days later, the figures are pumped out.
Well, see, that's the thing. And that's what I was just going to say. Timothy's comment here is this is the thing with McFarlane. Half the time he announces a figure, it's in the store in 2 weeks.
Yep.
He's not going, hey, I'm going to make this, and then 6 months later it shows up in the stores. McFarlane doesn't even talk about it until it's in distribution at the final retailer. He doesn't even talk about it before then, which is very smart. But you guys look at the product he's dumping and has been for the last 4 months. He announces figures 20 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been that way for the last 6 or 8 months.
And that list we showed just a while ago, there was another one that didn't download. So there was another full page of figures on that list alone.
Yeah, there's another full page of figures that he showed at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, guys. It's all speculation, but I really do think McFarlane's dumping. He is in the process of dumping it.
I think so too.
And they have to have at the Toy Fair meeting in New York. What is it, in March?
Mm-hmm.
They have to have finished prototypes to present if they get the new license. So I really wish Mattel would get the license back. And you know what? It's been long enough so that if Mattel, this might sound terrible, but you know what? Mattel could pull a repeat and reproduce all of the figures that they made in the old collection and add the newer characters that have been created or have been altered. Throw them into the batch, into the mix. I'm telling you what, Mattel would make a killing with that 6-inch wave all over again.
Oh yeah,
as long as they kept it cheap.
Y'all was talking a little bit ago about not Marvel, but Hasbro and Ollie's and places like that. And a lot of it, I think you was right about, has to do with Disney. Because you go to Ollie's. What 2 sets do you see always at Ollie's made by Hasbro? It's the second Black Panther movie and that garbage movie, The Eternals.
Oh yeah, they both bad. Yeah, I'll give you my opinion of both DC and Marvel. As far as the toy line goes, the key to sales is silver / modern age versions of the characters. And you've got to back up 20 years. Don't even bother with doing any of the variations that have occurred in the last 20 years. Do everything from let's say 1970 to 2000. You stay within that 30-year window, you will sell figures like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
This new stuff, no one's interested in it. Movie stuff, no one's interested in it. Not numbers that are going to make you successful. Don't get me wrong. There's a market for that stuff, but you got to. There's a 30-year window there. You got to stay in or forget it, because the rest of it's just a waste of time. Making movie figures at this point in time is a waste of time.
Right. I believe them two waves right there, because you go to all these places, like you might see a couple of deluxe figures, maybe a 2-pack or two, but it's always them two waves are always present.
Well, it's Black Series. It's everything, man. It's because of what we're talking about in the lawsuit. They overinflated their numbers. They expected great sales out of them before they even had the sales there. So they ordered all this product. They already had it on hand, and they put it in stores, and it didn't go nowhere.
Well, yeah, even the Black Wave stuff, you don't see a whole set. You might see one or two of that said it wasn't that popular, but you don't see a whole set.
In a lot of places you do. You see cases of them. Like, I think now you can go to Ollie's, you can find cases of the and it was a popular show, was the Bad Batch. You're seeing cases of chicks and cases of all them guys there now.
Some of the speculation as to why Hasbro ended up with that inventory that then they fraudulently turned around and used it the way they used it. It appears the way they used it was the actual production demands that Disney put on them. In other words, you are going to make this, you are going to make that, you are going to make them in these numbers. And apparently Disney is notorious for forcing their license holders to do all kinds of stuff that probably doesn't make any business sense for them. If that's the case, you know what, Hasbro, it may not have been Hasbro's fault that they ended up with that kind of inventory. What they did with it was theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So that was where some of the speculation came in, that Hasbro may not be in a place to be bullied by Disney anymore and continue to make stuff that they're literally losing so much money on. I mean, that story we were talking about, they offered up the answers to how for Hasbro to fix itself. And this was shocking to me. That, what did they say 5 years ago? Nerf was $1 billion a year business.
Mm-hmm.
And they completely dropped the ball because they had to kiss Disney's butt by making product that won't sell. That Nerf isn't even profitable anymore because they just gave up on it. So their answer was rebuild Nerf, keep up with the preschool stuff, and your proprietaries, Transformers and G.I. Joe, fix them and produce those. And never mind about the licensing. Never mind about that. But we're going to get to this here in a minute, where that is not what Hasbro is going to do. Here it is. Great. Boy, Shane is right on it tonight. That's it, guys. Transformers 1 underperformed financially, blah, 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 which, to be perfectly honest with you, doesn't have anything to do with this Cox guy and his decisions. Video games and digital entertainment. This is the direction this guy is going to force Hasbro into. You're going to see in this deal with Mattel, the Hasbro Mattel deal with the Mega Bloks G.I. Joe sets that they just announced this past week.
Yeah.
Don't get shocked. Don't get shocked at all if they're dumb enough to even license out G.I. Joe completely here in the next year or so. Because this guy is 100% convinced that Hasbro needs to be a digital company. So that's what the move to Boston is about. I explained this before. They have what they call the technological mile over there, and it's a lot more than a mile. It's 16 or 17 miles of tech companies that run to the west of the city of Boston. So this guy wants to move it all, lock, stock, and barrel to Boston to be closer to those tech developers. That's what that's about. It doesn't have anything to do with tax incentives or, Lord knows it's not a more friendly housing environment for their employees. It has everything to do with access to those software developers. That's what they want. That's what
Board Gaming was number 2 on their list of highest producing money makers.
Yeah, but if everything else is losing money, that doesn't say much, does it?
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, literally, how many times you see somebody buying a board game? Unless it's Magic the Gathering or something like that.
Yeah, right. They're all about D&D.
You can go in the board game aisle right now at Walmart and it's slap full.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and then it's crazy. It's just crazy where this is going right now, man.
Well, they've actually been pretty sly about it, but the handwriting's been on the wall for over a year. Ever since this Chris Huff guy came in, that this is where they've been headed, and now they aren't going to spend any money on any movies or any media other than digital, other than gaming. Mm-hmm. They're out of the movie business, which
they're talking about this for 8 months now.
Yeah, there's no solid answer what that means for future Transformers movies. It doesn't. What is happening with the G.I. Joe Transformers movie? No one knows now. The fact of the matter is an awful lot of speculation is it's over. It's done. None of those will be made. Paramount is, if it wants to make them, Paramount is 100% on its own for financing or finding financing. Yep. And apparently, from one article I read after this was produced, Paramount has flat out said they're not interested because they're expensive to make. And if they're still going to have to deal with Hasbro telling them every little thing, but Hasbro not having a financial stake in it, what's the incentive for them to go through all of that hassle? There isn't any.
None whatsoever.
So it looks very much so like at this point in time, the Transformers movies franchise is over. The whole G.I. Joe thing is over. All of it. So there was some, not only to the front end of my house, there was some big stuff that happened in the last 7 days.
Oh, yeah.
That was really, I mean, from our perspective, world changing. It definitely looks like Hasbro is going in that digital direction, like they've been kind of hinting at. Now they're basically saying it.
Oh yeah.
So at this point in time, gentlemen, I'll throw it out there. I think 2025 is the last year that Hasbro will produce any Go content. I think they will license it out, and it looks like they may be fishing it to Mattel.
Very possible.
I mean, but the next question is, does Mattel even want it?
Well, I mean, it is a moneymaker if you stick with the right stuff.
I think Mattel would be wise enough to continue to watch what the comic does.
Yeah.
Because Mattel is all about media. Let's face it, they just are. They're smart enough to know. Have you guys seen any of the Hot Wheels commercials lately?
Oh, yeah.
They're some of the best toy commercials that have been made in 25 years.
Yeah. But I was actually shocked to see the commercial.
I know. And you watch them, and they're talking about creativity and imagination. And it's just like, these should be commercials for action figures, not Hot Wheels.
Mm-hmm.
But Mattel seems to be the only toy company on the planet that actually gets it.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know.
It's going to be a wild ride.
But I would love for Mattel to get the Joe stuff. They're getting the Mega Block stuff right now. So that's, to me, that's awesome. And that Sky Striker and his tank is way better than what we've already seen from
those are horrible.
That other little company that made them.
The Chinese knockoffs.
Yeah.
If Mattel could actually continue the classified line, because let's face it, it's a 6-inch line.
Yeah.
I think Mattel could probably shock us with the quality of stuff because,
right.
Man, it's just, I don't know, man. I think the first quarter of next year is going to tell a huge story. I think a lot of licenses are going to either get completely dropped or change hands. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, to tell you the honest truth, at this point in time, maybe the reason that Hasbro decided to shift production to India for the Joe line to make it a selling point.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it may not have had anything to do with their bottom line. It may have had everything to do with it being, like I said, a selling point to license it all out. I just
Right
don't know.
now, the only action figure line that Mattel is producing is Masters of the Universe, right?
Well, they got the Jurassic Park stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Which
that's slowed down a lot.
it's they're waiting for the movie next year.
Exactly.
And then it'll blow up again.
Yep.
Well, but it's going to have to blow up a lot because let's face it, it's been 3 bad years for sales on that too.
Mm-hmm.
The Hammond collection is like on fire, but
Yeah.
they're produced in such low numbers that you can't even get it when you want it.
Right.
That's going to be the thing with Mattel, like even like on the Attorney of Play set, they priced it way high because they don't do in bulk like Hasbro does.
They did not.
They're a lot smaller quantities, so it means the price is going to be higher on their stuff because they're having to make up for it, through price increase.
Or what about Jada Toys? They're producing some great stuff right now too.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Scooby-Doo line they're coming out with? Oh,
yeah.
Man. And they done threw that whole hook out and hooked me. And I've only seen pictures.
That piece I shared with you guys, that story I shared with you guys, did make a great point. The fact of the matter is if they could come up with the cash, one of these smaller companies, if they got a hold of the Star Wars license, they really genuinely could revitalize the whole thing because they were right. That story was right. Hasbro is stuck in a rut. We're going to do the same thing we've been doing for the last 25 to 30 years, and you can't change our mind on anything.
But the only thing that is selling is the older Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. That's the only thing that is selling. That new Acolyte series, you can go anywhere and find the whole case still sitting there.
Yeah.
So the Mandalorian stuff is selling.
Yeah, but the Mandalorian stuff
stuff is all over Ollie.
It's lived its life. It was a fad. It came and it went. And no one cares anymore. That Book of Boba Fett's another prime example of that. It came on like gangbusters, but everybody just went, oh, well, next, right? Because it does not have the staying power of the classic stuff. It just doesn't.
Well, you oversaturate the market with Star Wars.
Right.
And I knew that's what Disney was going to do when they got control over it. And right off the bat, they started talking about making 2 movies a year. That's what drove Star Wars. You got a movie every 3 years. And then it was from 85 to 99 before we got another one?
Yeah.
So that made people want it.
But if you'll do any research on the death of Kenner, the toy company Kenner, that's what killed them. Not being able to compete with shows with G.I. Joe, He-Man, stuff like that.
Yeah, they literally put all their eggs in one basket. Yep.
Star Wars is the only thing they were making money with.
Yep.
When they run out of movies, their product just hit rock bottom. That's when they lost their business was gone. It was done.
Yeah, and in the toy industry, it's pretty well common knowledge that the real American hero, G.I. Joe, real American hero, that wiped Kenner out.
Yeah,
because they just did not have a prop. Once Star Wars was over, it was over.
Yep.
We didn't have VHS, we didn't have DVDs, we didn't have Blu-rays, we didn't have. You saw Star Wars, and then you didn't again, right? Yep. And then they started showing it on TV once a year, like Wizard of Oz or something. Mm-hmm. But that was still quite a few years later. Once it was out of theaters and the kids that were into it hit a certain age, that was it. It's done. Because it couldn't be refreshed for a new audience yet.
And they couldn't make new figures. Because the figures they had made were already in the movies and done with.
Yeah.
So there was no, entertainment out there for them to catch the attention of other people.
What was the last of it? The droids cartoon and the Ewoks cartoon.
The Ewoks cartoon and the Ewok movies.
Yeah, there were movies, yes, but that wasn't enough to support it.
I was going to do a little piece on this on the show one night, and the droids and the Ewok cartoon did not do well either. Mm-mm. There was only
the
one
audience
season. there was only one season of the Ewok cartoon, I believe, maybe two,
Sounds
and maybe
right.
two of the droids, and that was it. It just did not go over. It just could not compete with G.I. Joe and He-Man.
Well, to tell you the truth, I mean, again, because of the way media was in the 80s, the fact of the matter is that's like handing a kid a book and say, okay, start reading at chapter 6, right? Because they'd never seen them. They hadn't seen those movies.
Exactly.
It wasn't even possible to see those movies.
Nope.
Unless you had a laser disc, and we all remember those. You had to be very, very rich to have it, and they were in Japanese because none of that stuff existed. You couldn't see it.
One season of droids and two of Ewoks.
Okay, and that probably makes sense.
And I remember seeing the first Ewok movie, Eternia, something. Well, no, not Eternia, but I can't remember the name of it. But it was great.
Battle for Endor.
Yeah, Battle for Endor. It was great. I loved it. It was so cool. And then the second one they come out with was just terrible.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
But John's right. But it's like they're over. This is it, right? I mean, this. It's all about oversaturation, isn't it? The fact of the matter is we are oversaturated with our media too, because everything's available to us. Nothing has the same special tone to it that it used to. You know what I mean? It was we loved our Star Wars toys because we were continuing the adventure that we didn't have access to anymore, right? So we got to see the movies, and let's face it, our generation absorbed that stuff. Like these newer generations didn't, because we knew we were going to see it. We were going to see it once or twice if we were lucky. Then from our perspective, we were probably never going to see that again.
Nope. But I do believe if they made these movies with good content and a good story, they would do better. These shows, all these Star Wars shows, if they had better content. I mean, storylines, that's what makes it. It's just like a comic book. If the storyline is not good, the comic book is not going to sell.
This is the thing, and I get it. Guys like me, we get made fun of by younger guys, blah, blah, freaking blah. The fact of the matter is if you can't muster up respect for the source material and then build upon that without this commonplace attitude, like, I've got a better idea. You know what I'm saying? Your better ideas suck. Right? If you had such a great idea, you would start your own franchise. You see what I'm saying? But you can't, because you have to. You think you're improving, but you're actually destroying what came before you, and that's what's the problem with. That's what's the problem with what's going on in Disney. There are 101 ways to expand on, not expand directly, but expand on the Skywalker legacy. Do you see what I'm saying? Then Rey, that didn't make any sense. It still doesn't to this day.
She's not even a Skywalker.
No, you can tell the story. You could go back in time and tell some awesome stories.
You can use legends as source material.
But they just, we got a better idea. We got a better idea. We got a new direction. You suck, and no one's interested. And they just won't take no for an answer.
But they could use those Legends comics for like a TV show.
Well, they don't want to. That's the point. They don't want to.
I mean, sure, they were a little dark. But...
So, hey guys, what's happening? No one wants them. Are you kidding me?
Nobody had. I have to agree with Dave on that one.
No one.
I'm a movie guy. Nobody wants them.
Nah, they suck. They're horrible. Garbage.
Hot garbage.
Garbage. So what else we got going on here? You guys got anything? I got a few things I can show off.
Some pickups for people. Corey, what do you got to show?
I only got two. The last 2 weeks been rough. I picked him up at Ollie's for like $9.
That's cool.
Oh, I've been seeing him. I've been passing.
Pretty good figure. And I was at Walmart the other day, and I picked up this guy. I McFarlane myself. Which I got the original one, the first one McFarlane made, but it's packed up. The only difference in them, the head sculpt's a little bit different. The cape, of course, the Signy on the chest, but he still got them god awful huge ankle balls.
Hmm.
And he still got the same set of hands that the other one did. But that's pretty much all I got done. And as far as last 2 weeks, it's been rough out here, man.
Not a lot around.
More than I picked up. Well, I didn't pick up nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, that was a quick segment. What do you got, John?
I've done first. Well, Philip found me this a couple of weeks ago.
There you go.
Platinum
Awesome.
edition. Grab that for me.
I got the regular one. I haven't seen that one.
I hadn't had a chance to open it. I just met up with him yesterday to get it.
Nice.
Last weekend, we drove up to Huntsville, and I stopped at Target and did find the new Evil Lynn.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's a nice looking figure. I really like the artwork and all on the new boxes and all. They do pretty good on that. I just ain't a fan of the Hordak that they put out. All the other figures that they put out here lately, but the Hordak I'm just not a fan of that Hordak figure. Today I found this at Walmart in Center, believe it or not.
Oh, Christmas present.
The Christmas Elvira from
Elvira.
NECA. So yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked our Walmart actually got it.
Wow.
And
Elvira.
and I did get the O-ring cover girl
Oh.
on a beautiful unpunched card.
It is a nice card.
Where'd you snag that up at?
Big Bad Toy Store.
Oh.
And I got it because of the other thing I bought, which I think was exclusive to Big Bad Toy Store.
All the twins.
Yeah. I bought that just because of the packaging, because it's like the vintage.
It is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got the little mirror image thing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they both have the actual file cards, all
Right.
in English, the whole thing. I don't know. I wasn't really, I don't know. I might pick up the other ones, but I wanted these, just like I said, mainly for the package. And I always wanted a blonde version of Cover Girl.
Mm-hmm.
One that didn't just look like a repainted Scarlet.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
Don't we supposed to have one coming in classified?
yeah, apparently so. A retro. So
Retro
I don't know.
cottage,
We'll see. But yeah. Other than that, I mean, I got I went and got my layaway off. I had it at the What the Nerd at Albertville,
Mm-hmm.
and I got this from him for like $40,
Oh, cool.
which retail on it I think was $49. So I got saved $10 on
Good
it.
deal.
Nice.
And, I got it. Got the Captain America Hydra Supreme and the Arnim Zola and the kind of the greenish color. I kind of thought that was a neat set. But this was the main one I was wanting for that Quicksilver to get the other. So I got the green one when Walmart got it a few weeks ago, but I had this one on layaway, so now I got both versions, the green and the.
Good night.
So I can put him with the Avengers, and I can put the green one with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So
That's like a $200 set, man.
oh yeah, and I got it for
$199.
no, it was
How much was it?
90, I think.
$19.95.
Nice.
90?
Yeah, he had he had some good deals on it. Like I said, this is brand new. And I had it marked 40.
Corey, we don't shoot out prices while wives are watching.
That's right.
And I
don't have one.
I know, so you need to keep your mouth hushed.
I did get because he does a punch card too, and I got enough points to get another figure. And I've been digging
John
out
John Slow Week.
I've been digging out some of my DC Universe figures that I still got my JSA set, and I got to dig out my Justice League, and I've got a lot of the lanterns too, but I couldn't remember. I think I got rid of this one, so I went ahead and picked up another one since I got it for free with a punch card. So
Nice. That was a good figure too.
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you.
I don't think I still have her. If I do, I guess I'll have two of them, but like I said, I got it, it didn't cost me enough with a punch card. So.
Mattel's got a gold mine right there in those molds. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now.
I mean, these were actually good figures. This
really
was
were.
a good wave too. It had the man bat, and it had the Joker and Beast Boy in it.
Yep. That man bat was a good one. Forager. That was a great deep dive there. Beast
I know
Boy.
I still got the Batman, and I still got the Joker. I've got those out there. I got to dig them out. But
I love that line.
yeah, I got a section. I'm going to put them up next to my Marvel Legends and kind of have my DC and Marvel. You know, if I got enough room, I'm gonna have to do some squeezing, squeeze them in.
I'm hoping to catch a good Black Friday deal on that Sabretooth Wolverine pack.
Oh, I bet that ain't happening. Black Friday.
Yeah, I'd like to. I got the Leandra and the Brood Wolverine because I wanted that Leandra figure. And I was kind of waiting on the Hulk Wolverine 2-pack because I'd like to get it, but I was kind of hoping I'd find it clearance off or marked down, but I don't know if I will or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they really
I
know
think
how
I
to
seen
make
it on sale. I can't remember where I seen it at for Black Friday. You talking about patching the Grey Hulk, right?
Yeah, they had Amazon had Odin for $37 the other day, but then when I went back on there, it done jump back up like to 40 or something.
They had a
49
weird
or
like 24-hour, 36-hour sale on stuff over there, and then they just jumped right
This
back
is
up.
why I can't buy you Christmas presents.
Next, he walks into the room and says, "Oh, you opened all your Christmas presents."
Yeah, I got my
That's right.
But yeah, this was about for the last 3
Christmas
weeks.
every day at the Maddox house.
No. But yeah, I was really excited that he found that Huntress for me. But like I said, I think the O-Ring Joes. I mean, this is really cool to actually have new O-Ring Joes, and they're actually, when you consider the O-Rings that Hasbro put out here, in the last couple of years,
Yeah,
like the ones with the Transformer sets and all, they're the same price.
they kind of are. Yeah,
I mean, they were actually. I think what was it? The Duke and Cobra Commander and the Cobra Trooper and Officer was like $45
Yeah,
for 2 of them.
49, something like that.
And these are just this one was 20, and this one was 39 because it was both of them together.
sure, right.
And but $20 a figure. I don't mind paying if it looks good, if it's a nice O-ring figure. I don't mind paying the $20 for it. But the non-O-ring reaction figures, all of those I got except for 2 I got on clearance. So I didn't pay more than half price for most of those.
Yeah.
Firefly and Raven, the Night Viper pilots, the only 2, or the Night Raven pilot, are the only 2 I paid the full $20 for, because that Firefly, and I never saw another one again. He's the only one I saw.
Right.
And the Raven was it was a unique character to the cartoon that I didn't see anywhere else. I run across it at a GameStop, so I grabbed it. And but yeah, that's it for me.
At John's house.
I was shocked to find that Elvira at Walmart and Center today. I don't know what the Walmart Center's getting stuff that the other Walmarts around here is not getting, like the Sectars figures and the Robo Force and all those. They've got them all at Center, but I ain't seen them nowhere at none of the other Walmarts around here. It's crazy. And now I'm hearing some of the Sectars are already being clearanced off for $6.
Yeah,
They're still full price up here.
Yeah.
Wow.
If they clearance these off, I might grab a set of them for $6 a piece.
I never saw any of them. I haven't seen any of them.
I've only seen them at one Walmart, and none of them had been moved.
Yeah.
I've seen them at 2, one in Florence, one in Muscle Shoals. Both got them.
Yeah, Ross has been getting some stuff too, but I feel that's coming to an end.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
I haven't found anything at Ross lately.
The whole thing is I'll wait for Ross or Ollie's or clearance mine.
Yeah, that's over. Yeah, that's done.
The only thing I found at Ross is a whole bunch of Nerf stuff.
Yeah,
You already showed them.
I don't know. Did I show you guys this Dark Side? John got me.
Mm,
I remember it or not. This is a new
Yeah, I
one.
think so.
I think it probably did. You can definitely tell it's a Build-A-Figure because the arms do pop off pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a Build-A-Figure.
You just unarmed him.
You've been unarmed. Yeah, it's a cool figure though. What else?
This figure.
Face down. No. The Brayfogle Batman showed up
Cool.
Monday or Tuesday. This plastic cape, I have to be perfectly honest with you, biggest waste of time in toy history. Looks great in the package.
Yeah, he put that and a cloth cape in there, right?
Yes.
Oh man,
This is the cloth cape.
man, that was so good.
Yeah, because it's just and it's it's wired. The
Oh, watch what you say around him.
this
Got a wired cape.
when the orders went up for this, he definitely looked all black, but he's not. He's actually gray and blue, and this is a really nice figure. That head sculpt is, boy, I think that is the best Batman head sculpt that they've done so far. I mean, it's really actually a really great figure. I ended up with 2 of them just in case somebody else ended up needing them, and they had sold out, but I don't know if they stayed that way or not. But I gotta throw a gripe in. $50.
Not worth it.
It's too high. You get the gargoyle and the cape and the plastic and the ventriloquist head and 2 other sets of and the gas mask and the hands and the batarang.
That's only around $39.
I love the character. It's the only reason I did it, and I used to really, really, really like Brayfogle's work. Yeah, they sold out and never came back up. So yeah, so that one I just showed in the package is an extra. This package I opened because it was dinged up, believe it or not. So, but yeah, I like this figure a lot.
Is the spikes plastic on it, or
the what now?
the spikes on his shoulders? They're plastic, yeah.
Well, this is how you. It's kind of weird. This shoulder piece, you pop the head off and you swap the capes out. Both capes have their own shoulder pieces. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just the head pops off and you refasten it to the body and then you pop the other head back on. So, but yeah, those are hard plastic. Well, harder plastic. And yeah, there's a ton of stuff you can do with this cape, which is really awesome. Like I said, it's a great figure. But they were, in my opinion, they were too expensive. That does not mean I'm going to sell the extra one I have for less, just in case you're wondering. $50 was a little heavy on them. But it's really a nice looking figure when you see it in person. That dark gray with the dark blue is really cool.
So there you go, Adam, in case you want that Batman.
Yeah,
Dave's got one.
Yeah. Iron Grenadier.
Yeah, I just ordered mine tonight.
Speaking of which, John, Alpine is up for pre-order again on Amazon.
I got to tell you, this is a great figure. Holsters on his back, the sword.
Boom.
This
Best figure of all.
This blast, this pistol, there's a regular, like a 9mm pistol. He comes with an M4 with this red grip,
The
foregrip.
M4 is pretty cool.
This saw with the individual legs on the bipod. It's all in the red plastic, the box mags, and
Yeah, the red accents actually
in
hit
red
really
with
well.
gold ammo instead of the regular
Yeah,
silver.
we've seen that with the 35th anniversary soldier, I think, but it was all black.
Yeah. Really cool figure. I'm hoping we get Adams. I'm hoping we get Aparo. Yeah, I agree, Timothy. There's a number of artists that I'd love to see. Helmet pops off. I have to tell you, though, there's something. And I know, can you see it real clearly? He's got a tie on, right?
Yeah.
This trench coat and a tie.
Hmm.
There's something so SS Nazi about it.
That's what I was going to say. They look
I
like
have to tell you,
That's
this,
what I was thinking.
I look at this figure.
They look like Gestapo.
They look like the S. This guy looks like the SS, and there's something disturbing about it. Even though I really like this figure, he's wearing. This is it's SS, man. It's just like
even with the helmet.
He looks so much like a Nazi. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep Clutch too awful close to him in the display case because there's apt to be some real friction there. If you don't get that joke, go read your file card.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's a cool figure.
You ever see that movie Sucker Punch?
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of those
movie.
soldiers in that when they were in the trenches and all. They were supposed to sort of Germanish type soldiers.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they remind me of.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie, by the way.
That's one of my favorites. I love that movie.
Another Zack Snyder movie. It was a great movie. What have you been getting with the Turtles?
What have you been picking up there, Tat?
I haven't seen any of my new Turtles yet, but I just do Last Ronin and Gotten Himmel. That's from reading the old war comics, right? My Gotten Himmel.
Well, that's a weird
I
blast.
think you see some Hogan's Heroes out of that.
Heroes, that's right.
They got stuff.
I am waiting on the next wave of Last Ronin, and I've been waiting on the new Loyal Subjects.
You've been picking up the Loyal Subject figures at Ross, huh?
That would be cool.
Ross and Florence has a ton of them Loyal Subject figures.
Really?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of them around here too.
Yeah.
I got to get Alopex and I got to get Rat King. Those are the only two that I'm missing that are actually out that I want right now.
I don't think those are in there.
No, probably not, because the only place I even see those anymore is Target down in Hoover.
Next time I'm the right way, I can stop the books and me and look. They ain't gonna be cheap.
Oh no, they had all the books, the ones with the comics, the limited comics. They had those at Second and Charlestown here. They had all four of them, but they weren't cheap. They were like $35.
Oh yeah,
a piece. So yeah, but it's a cool package. It's a really cool packaging. Still, I haven't actually had a chance to read any more of my turtle books that I got in the Humble Bundle, but
Humble Bumble.
so
Humble Bumble.
Humble Bumble.
Humble
Bumbles,
Bumble.
Bumbles bounce.
A Humble Bumble.
It reminds me of my brother that passed away. He always, every winter, he had snow white hair and he grew his beard. Every Thanksgiving, he stopped shaving and he wouldn't shave again until the 1st of May. So by Christmas, he had this huge white beard. Literally, in like 3 weeks' time, he had a massive white beard. And when he had his teeth pulled out one Christmas time, he finally got all of his teeth out. He was waiting for his dentures because that was back when you didn't get them the same day.
Yeah.
And he was wandering around in that giant white beard, and I spent that whole Christmas going, Bumbles bounce. Things were fun back then. Anyways, what a week, guys, right? I mean, geez.
It's been one.
So the Alpine, Iron Grenadier, Bats, Alpine, and
Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow.
Shadow version 2.
They've been showing up in stores. But Pulse has pushed them back again to like the 17th of December.
Yep.
Which is really strange. I don't know what to make of that.
And Amazon has them anywhere from the 29th to the 10th of December.
Yeah, so but the Storm Shadows, apparently people are saying they're already jamming up Walmarts in certain places.
Well, I hope so, because I like that one.
I still think John finding that one that he found here month or so ago, I still say that's a glitch in the system.
I think
And I'm talking about the Matrix.
Yeah, that was. Somehow, some way, that one shipped early. But it was John that was trying to place an order for Alpine the other day, and apparently Alpine is sold out and is going to stay that way. So
No, he's back up.
Oh, they're
He's back up.
Yeah.
It's just such a mess.
I just
But
ordered all 4 before the show started.
Yeah, he is. He's back up.
The next wave, which isn't due until next September, that is the strangest thing because they each individually, every once in a while, come back on pre-order. Now, how is that possible? Think about
People
that. How is
canceling.
it's really weird.
People canceling their pre-orders.
Which ones did you find, Timothy? Did you find Alpine and what'd you find? Who'd you find?
All of them minus Storm Shadow.
That whole wave minus Storm Shadow?
Somebody in the group found Raptor for $10.
$10?
Yeah, they posted a picture in our group. $10.49 at Target.
Some people are saying he's being clearanced out at Target, but I've not even seen one at Target.
Boy, that doesn't sound right.
If he's being clearanced out at Target, raid the Targets.
That figure hasn't even remotely been distributed yet. Why would that happen? The whole wave minus Storm Shadow. Wow. Hopefully John's hearing that. He can start looking out for an Alpine because
I think that's where he went.
He left us and ran to Target apparently. So
Here in a minute, you hear some ding ding, and he'll be in the car driving. You'll see him.
crazy. Yeah, well, it's weird. I don't know. The whole thing's messed up. I know that.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It still makes me think there's an issue with distribution going on.
Distribution and now production.
Yeah, production. We knew that was coming.
I'm afraid so. Yeah. I agree. The handwriting was on the wall on that one too.
There we go.
I'm going to attempt to grab one of those, and I'll turn that into a Gestapo agent for you.
Oh, a find in Tennessee.
Okay.
Well, I don't want Nazis in my toy collection. I
wanted a World War II 6-inch.
I don't mind make-believe terrorists and shirtless dentists and all kinds of other weird crap with G.I. Joe because it was so much fun. But I don't want actual Nazis in my toy collection.
I've had Nazis in my toy collection for about 4 or 5 years now. I mean, there's the Red Skull, a whole bunch of other people, you know.
Yeah, you can pretty much say Hydra's Nazis anyway.
Yeah, I don't do Marvel. I don't collect Marvel just because of that, because they're a bunch of Nazis.
I swear, if YouTube takes this video down just because of everyone saying that, every single.
Well, it's true. They're a bunch of Nazis.
No, but
and they're all bad guys from WW2.
I mean, I'll limit my collecting to
world
despots that wipe out hundreds of thousands of planets, but I draw the line at Nazis.
Can't do it.
Jeez.
I don't know why Hasbro didn't draw the line to them either. They draw the line letting Cobra Commander have a hood. So
that's still a rumor.
Allegedly,
everybody denies. That was that Bona Vita, whatever the movie guy. He made that. He's the one that made that comment. Hasbro never said that.
Hasbro never has said that. Come out and said that.
Baron Zemo. He has a hood.
That's why everybody's saying
that Baron Zemo. Yeah,
that was the guy that produced the movie, and he was just being an idiot talking about hoodies.
He is an idiot.
In other words, he didn't have any understanding of Cobra Commander's hooded version or not.
No.
I don't think Hasbro actually has a problem with it. That Baron Zemo was a prime example of it. They made a hooded figure. And he was an actual Nazi, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, a hooded Nazis, I don't think Hasbro has that big an issue with it. But who knows? But this one, I got to tell you, wicked cool. But this sucker just screams SS, and there's something a little disturbing about it because.
Well, he does. He has extreme lightness.
It's that gray shirt with a tie. It's just kind of like, man.
Have you seen
the trench coat? It's just.
Have you seen the monkey fiction characters from Big Bad Toy Store? They look similar to that, with a lot more red on them.
It does. It just screams Nazi. Yes,
he cannot see.
When that one actually hits toy shelves in numbers, I'm going to be surprised if there isn't a comment or two from some parents on that or something, because boy, that looks an awful lot like a Nazi. Well, yeah, I mean, but that, Timothy, you're right. But I mean, they were actual Nazis. Do you know what I'm saying? And it was plain in the text, the context of it, that because of the movies that they were bad. I don't know. Does that make any sense? You know, you see a Nazi, and you go, that's just bad. But you see this, and you kind of go, that looks like a Nazi. I'm not so sure which is worse, looking like a Nazi or just being a flat out Nazi. I think it's worse to just kind of look like a Nazi, because I don't know, man.
Yeah, that Indiana Jones Adventure Series line is done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yep, there was at least one there. He's right.
Yeah.
and I think that was that. Wasn't it the guy who got his hand burnt?
Yeah, he got completely burnt at the end. Yeah. But,
Yeah, but he got his hand burnt. He had the hand with it in the, and then he had the melting head.
He had the medallion.
Yeah, the medallion.
That was,
to his hand.
they done Elsa too from Last Crusade.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But she was
But
pretty.
Donovan,
You know,
Donovan was an
pretty
American.
Nazis are acceptable.
No, they are not.
Oh man.
Well, DC's got a Nazi, Bruno.
They're everywhere.
I don't think he's ever had a
They
figure.
go like home.
I don't think I ever had a figure either, but
What was it? There was DC's got the what is it? The USSR or something or what is the
KG Beast and the
the KG Beast,
KV Demon, which were, but they did the Mattel line did the KGB Beast, KG Beast. They did have that in one of the later waves, but that was he was a communist.
he was in the Killer Croc Build-A-Figure wave.
What's that?
He was in the Killer Croc Build-A-Figure wave of Mattel, don't it?
Sounds about right. Yeah, it was one of the later ones. After the real glory of the line was over, then they redid the packaging and stuff.
That was when they started the multiverse, wasn't it?
The multiverse.
The DC multiverse,
Yep, Captain Nazi. Yeah, right. I mean, you got those old covers of Batman punching out Hitler, from the day. Yep. So, but I would not suggest anybody hold their breath waiting for a Hitler figure, because we know that's just flat out never. It's never going to happen. They will never be an Adolf figure.
Actually, some companies have.
There's a $250 2-pack for you there, McFarlane. Old Adolf and Ava in the bunker.
For real.
I'm surprised somebody
I don't know. His figure might sell better than De Niro's.
Definitely.
Right.
Well, that figure made me not want to buy that 2-pack.
Yeah, the De Niro figure would have been better if it was the post-shooting version, right? The post-shot.
Yeah.
Over in the chair. Everybody would have bought that one.
Yeah.
Jeez, what a guy he is turned. Oy.
People get old, they lose their faculties.
Ain't no doubt about that.
He never had his faculties.
I really don't think he ever really did. He's always been a weird guy.
Yeah.
You talking to me, John? You talking to me?
That's strange.
He's offended.
Crazy. I don't know, man. So Thanksgiving week. So it's getting late. So I do genuinely hope you all have the time and take the time to find something to be thankful about, right? If not multiple things, because
Well, I got hope, man. I think a lot of everything's gonna pick up. These figures are gonna start moving again, and we're gonna see a lot more of them in the near future.
something's going to happen.
Let's hope.
Corey's right, because it's not looking good.
I'm kind of looking forward to the break myself.
See, and when John first started saying that he was looking forward to the break, I was in complete disagreement with him, because I was worried about a lull killing things off. But I have to be honest with you, I've come around to his way of thinking on this, that a little bit of a lull will probably be a good thing for a lot of us to maybe get a little reset.
Well,
And let the market settle, let the manufacturers settle, let our wallets settle. You know, I mean,
remember back when the classified line started, we were all like, "Oh yeah, and then there was nothing.
I know, right?
It was all like really disappointed because there was months that went by that we got nothing, and we were mad. And then we all of a sudden got hammered. We were mad
Over and over and over.
Now I'm
again.
not going to be mad during this lull. I'm going to be content.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see how long it's actually going to last. But at this point in time,
and I'm going to pray we don't get hammered again.
Well, boy,
I'm gonna look at it like I'm gonna go back and buy stuff I passed on.
I've said this before. It's oddly enough, that's kind of the reason that I didn't get into the Python Patrol and the Tiger Force stuff, is because that leaves me something to collect later when this line ends. Does that make any sense? I
I'm
guess.
going to tell you right now, the Night Force stuff is going up in price.
Well, it is, because it's typical Walmart that there was never enough of them to begin with, and all the wrong people ended up with them. You know what I mean by that too.
Chicken hack.
Hold up, Silas.
Chicken hack.
Yeah, there was that Falcon and Squirrel 2-pack I never got, and I never did get the bike out of that deal either. I need to get.
No, the only thing I can think of is Walmart's numbers were way down, because there doesn't seem to be anywhere near enough of those to have met demand.
I've never seen them in the store at all. I've never seen a single Night Force figure in the store.
Not a
I never have
Not a single one.
At least
I
Tiger Force you can find.
When I ordered something from Walmart, the who was the sniper one they made?
Low light.
No, the Night Force.
Shooter.
Shooter.
I only ordered one. They sent me a case.
They did.
Well, that's crazy.
But they're glad it wasn't NECA. You know them for it.
That's right.
Yeah, I think we all are like that, Tats.
What'd you do with all those?
You usually don't spend money. What the heck?
I think I sold them for cost to some people in the group. I think Shane got one.
Yeah, I got one.
Rick got one. I called them back and told them if they send me a prepaid deal, I'd mail it back to them. They told me to keep them.
Oh yeah, they don't want to bother with it. Their inventory system doesn't allow for that kind of stuff. I swear.
I'll tell you, the one that got me, the one that I never have seen in the store was Grunt. And I know, like Timothy and Shane was finding them at, marked down right off the bat, but I never did see a single one in the store. Never did.
No, I bought all mine in the store, and they were all on clearance. From day one, they were all on clearance, which was the strangest thing. But low light, never saw a low light. Still don't have a low light. Never saw a low light in the stores. Not a one. And the other ones from that wave were everywhere, but not low light.
I think he's on sale on Amazon right now.
He might be. I with everything going on the last couple of days, I haven't been doing a lot of shopping.
Dodging bricks and cars.
Oh, geez. I got to figure out. It's an interesting thing, guys, because with the boy there, getting sucked back into the OG Joe stuff was a very good thing. But now that a good chunk of it has been destroyed, I just don't know. That's a weird place to be in.
Back through that, ain't it?
Tell them you want to replace all of it, and somebody that'll sell it to you for $20,000 just to write up a check.
Yeah, but what kills me about Dave's situation is all the time and memories he's put in with his kids, man.
Yeah,
you don't get that back. You don't get that money.
You don't get that back.
You don't get that back. I mean, I was hoping at least the gantry or the crawler or something would still be in good shape. That way I could just kind of start over, but they're not. They're not. And it's just, man. But it's like Amy said, you should sit there. It's just trash to them. They're going to let you keep all that stuff. So, I mean, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm kind of discouraged with it because I always figured once I got sick of the new stuff, I could just go back to, just go back to the OG stuff. But now I was so happy to finally have a Defiant. I'd never even seen a Defiant. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I could sit down and actually justify spending that kind of money on another one. Because you got to admit, guys, that's freaking crazy. Excuse my French, but that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
To get one in the condition that mine was in, as of 1:59 a.m. Saturday morning, that's about $5,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know, man. I love.
Well, I tell them I want it replaced. Don't pay me for it. Just replace it. And then let them say how much it costs to get one. Then they'll know.
Like I said, I sat down and I took a bunch of screenshots and just on stuff on eBay, and they go up to $8,000 complete.
Oh yeah,
$8,000. And then we're not talking about complete with the box or anything else. You want to talk about one with the box and stuff, you're up over $20,000.
Oh yeah,
for a Defiant, and it's just like oof. The flag's cool. Don't get me wrong, but you know what? Flags are. This is going to sound strange, but in the grand scheme of things, flags are common compared to Defiants. Because so many of the Defiants were broken anyways. I mean, it was, So, I mean, they could honestly tell me, okay, we're going to buy you a mint and box one. And I'd tell them no, because you know what? Half the time the doors are broken in the boxes. So what good would that do me, right? It's a strange thing, but I'll definitely keep you guys posted on what happens with the insurance stuff, because hopefully hopefully it'll spare somebody else some headache sometime down the road.
Hopefully they won't tide you too hard.
What about my head?
Look, this is going to be a game. I think everybody knows that. This is going to be a typical insurance company game. Somebody is going to end up trying to pull a fast one in here some way or cheap out in some way or another somehow, because that's what happens. The problem is my own. Well, it's not a problem yet. I'm trying to be positive about it, believe it or not. The only problem I'm having is the concern that I may not have the money to fight this.
Because let's face it, man. I think your insurance company will handle that.
My guess is if there are any limits, they're not going to care because they're not on the hook for it. They're just going to turn around and sue Progressive anyways.
That's what I'm saying. They'll be the one doing that.
They're going to recoup their money no matter how much money they give me. Because liability is not a question. Like I said, you hit a stationary object at 2:00 in the morning.
In the middle of the night.
We did absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, we there's no shared liability here. Like I said, my house wasn't jaywalking or anything. But I'm going to keep you posted, and I'm going to ask some serious questions about how all of this works from my agent to get the skinny, so that I can pass that on to you guys, so that maybe you have a real good understanding. Because it's like Amy said, not that John's outbuilding would ever get hit by a random car in the middle of the night, because the likelihood of that is zero. But she just made the statement. Can you imagine if this was John's collection? And it's just no. Can you imagine, going and putting in an insurance claim and them going, oh, by the way, you're only covered for a literal fraction of what it's worth? Holy crap. So I don't know, guys. It's Thanksgiving. Be thankful. I'm thankful that this one is okay, because there was a real possibility that this could have been ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is I'm thankful that the kids that hit the house were okay too, because you know what? I could have opened that door and found something completely different than I found.
Oh yeah.
So there's that.
Yep.
So I can be thankful for that. And we're just along for the ride right now until sometime tomorrow, when the first adjuster shows up, I guess. Yeah. And we call our insurance guy in 12 hours from now to find out what we're going to do. That's that. Right?
Right.
So have a fantastic Thanksgiving with family and friends.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And
Yeah.
Don't eat too much, or eat as much as you want. Doesn't matter.
if you're skinny,
Be thankful for it
eat as
both
much
ways.
as you-
Speaking of which, Byron, I'm coming for that stuffing. That's my brother-in-law makes the best stuffing on the planet, man.
Yeah, my dear wife, first thing when it was even remotely in the waking hours on Saturday, first thing she does is send a text to my daughter Rosie, Thanksgiving's at your house. She hadn't even told her what happened yet, just Thanksgiving's at your house. Happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen.
Happy
Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a safe
Thanksgiving,
week, everyone.
everybody.
See y'all next week.